sense of enthusiasm in the head, yet a sense of doom in the stomach. Gratitude in my heart, a smile on my lips, yet tears running down my cheeks. No, I was not cutting an onion. In fact, I was on board a flight in business class. And what led to this ethereal sense of emotions? Do you know? Would you like to know?
Yes.
All right then, club president, fellow Toastmasters, put up your seat belts. Let's get on board 9W012. Sir, please wear your seat belt. 9W012 from Singapore to Mumbai is ready for takeoff. And as soon as he said those words, gratitude in my heart, a smile on my lips, and tears running down my cheeks. Soon, pretty little Sonal walked by. She offered me a drink. What would you like to drink, sir? And like any man going through an emotional trauma, I asked for some wine. Chilled Chardonnay, please. Took my sip of wine, and the most horrible thing happened. I burped. It wasn't the wine. In fact, it was the breakfast. My last breakfast in Singapore after a decade of staying there. A traditional Singaporean breakfast. If you've ever been there, a kaya toast, half-boiled eggs, and a piping hot tea. The breakfast was with 4 friends who had come to see me off at the airport. The last of the farewells. Farewells that went on for an entire month. Lunches, dinners, teas, and everything in between. Just yesterday was my last Toastmaster meeting in Singapore. I gave my farewell speech. Toastmasters from around Singapore came down. And the icing on the cake, one of my friends who runs a top hotel there catered for all of us. Hot pakoras, lovely tandoori chicken, and you guessed it, biryani. Before the meeting, my team at work had sent me away a lovely card and a gift of Harvard Business Review for an entire year. Through the day, I got phone calls, I got emails, and I got letters. I counted. I actually did. More than 150 goodbyes. I felt special. I felt loved. I felt the only thing I could. Gratitude in my heart. Sonal was back here again, this time offering me lunch. Indian or Singaporean, sir? She meant the food, not me. Well, I'm going to be in India for a long time, so maybe I'll have Singaporean. Chicken rice. I remember my first chicken rice in Singapore, just after I had landed. Flavored rice, that steamed chicken, and that chili. Just beautiful chili. In Singapore, the first month was just exploring all these cuisines, the noodles, the fried rice. And the first time I had the forbidden meat, the beef. On hindsight, Singapore was actually multiple firsts. The first time I lived alone. The first time I was independent from my parents. My first job, my first pay. I spent it all the same evening. My first failed exam. My first phone application. My first romance. My first date, my first kiss, my first night at the zoo. Singapore has a night zoo, you dirty minds. The first time I woke up unconscious in a hospital. The first time I went to the hospital 2 times in the same week. First for diarrhea, and then for constipation. Singapore had many firsts, many lovely memories. And when I thought of all of these memories, I could but do one thing: a smile on my lips. And here I was, going away from all of these memories, going back to India, leaving behind these lovely friends, these lovely memories, and leaving behind the place I called a home away from home. The journey was almost done. It was a really quick journey, much like the entire decade. The tears were still rolling down my cheeks. And I remembered the first time I left India. My mother was at the airport. She waved goodbye, and she cried. I turned around, hugged her, and then I ran away. Perhaps excited to go to Singapore, or perhaps just scared of her tears. And here we are, an entire decade later. When I left India, my mother cried, tears of heartbreak. When I came back to India, I cried, tears of heartbreak.
Welcome to Chhatrapati Shivaji International Airport. We hope you enjoyed your journey and would love to have you on board again. Thank you for flying Jet Airways.
And every emotion that I had felt had a lovely meaning, a beautiful reason behind it. And yet at that moment, that absurd flow of emotions scared me. But you know what I realized? I realized that emotions can never be contained by one single word. Language oversimplifies emotions. You never feel just one emotion, just pure joy, just pure sadness. Never feel one single emotion. I was so happy I got admitted to the best university in the world. But yet I was sad. I was leaving family. I was so sad when my grandmother died. But yet I was happy that she'd lived a fulfilling life. Each time I eat biryani, I am happy, but I'm also sad that I'm killing away my health. Emotions cannot be expressed with one single word. Emotions are this beautiful mix, an exquisite ethereal blend of things. You know what? Emotions are like Bhel puri. You can't just eat the papdi, then just eat the sev, or just eat the sauce. Each bite is a mix of flavors, textures. And you just have to treat emotions the same way. Enjoy all of those flavors and textures. And just like Bhel puri, after you enjoy it, just let it go. Burp.